Welcome back to another episode of A Better Way of Earning. I am your host, Dr. Michelle S. Thomas. And we've talked about systems, we've talked about mindset, we've talked about global influences. Now we need to bring this back to something personal, your value. Because today's economy, people are not hired for titles, they are selected for capability. According to workforce data from LinkedIn and global hiring reports, the fastest growing skills include digital communication, data literacy, problem solving, project management, and AI assisted workflows. But here's the key, it's not just what you know, it is how you apply it. Here's an exercise that I use with my new Entrepreneur Incubator program. I want you to begin to identify your skills in three different categories. First, identify your core skills. These are skills that you use daily. What are those skills? Second box that I want you to create are your transferable skills. These are skills that can be applied elsewhere. And we're going to dive a little deeper into how to identify what skills are transferable in a few minutes. And then I want you to identify emerging skills. What's growing out there in the industries? What's in high demand? And once you get this mapping done, this is going to help you to better present yourself through your skills when you are looking for new opportunities or new clients or growing your earning potential. And that skills mapping brings me to the portion of this episode that I have titled, Your Skills Did Not Expire. You just haven't translated them yet. Let's be real for a moment. One of the biggest lies in today's job market is this: if you don't have experience in this industry, you're not qualified. And because of that belief, thousands of professionals are sitting on valuable, transferable skills, but they're stuck, overlooked, or starting over unnecessarily. Today, we're going to shift that narrative because your skills don't ever expire. So let's talk about the awareness gap, why people feel stuck. Most professionals have been trained to think in job titles and industries, not in skills and capabilities. So, what happens? A retail manager doesn't realize that they have operations leadership experience. There's an admin who doesn't see their project management and coordination strengths. Or you have a teacher that doesn't recognize their expertise in training, communication, and performance development. The problem isn't lack of skill, it's lack of language and positioning. This is exactly why I created the skills translation conversations and my other YouTube channel titled The Color of Success, because I saw how many people were overqualified but underpositioned. Now, here's how you begin to identify and translate your skills. Step one, strip the job title. Stop asking, what was my job or what is my job? Start asking, what problems did I solve consistently? Step two, identify core skills categories. Now, we just did an example of how you do your skills mapping. So now we're going to identify core skills categories and create these buckets that will tie back into your skills mapping. Top 4 buckets. Operational skills. These are any skills that include process improvement, logistics, systems. People skills is another bucket. This is any skills that you have utilized that exemplifies leadership, communication, conflict resolution. Then you have a strategic skills bucket. That is about any decision making processes you've done, any planning that you have executed, any forecasting that you've done. And then the fourth bucket and category is execution skills. That's task completion, organization, the ability to do follow through. Oftentimes, we do things naturally or just organically within the work that we do or the professions that we have, but we don't truly identify them as skills, which doesn't allow us to add to the categories that companies are looking for. So, those four categories again are operation skills, people skills, strategic skills, and execution skills. Take those four buckets and go back to your skills mapping and begin to organize the core skills that you have, the transferable skills that you have, and place them into these larger categories to help you to be able to see where these skills are cross section or cross utilized within multiple industries. Step 3, we need all of us to reframe the language. You are not just a store manager anymore. You are a operations and team performance leader. Or if you're a customer service rep, you are a client experience and issue resolution specialist. It's the same experience, but it has a different positioning, which offers different opportunities for each and every one of you guys. And then step 4, we're going to match these skills across multiple industries. I want you to begin to do some research. We're no longer in the space that we just AI produce some resumes that's matching words and expecting to secure the position that we want or that we desire. You need to do some research. You need to ensure that the information that you are utilizing to build the full picture of who you are is not only clear and concise, but it also can be translated across multiple industries. So let's not niche ourselves in or box ourselves in because we're using antiquated versions like a static resume. And so start to research job descriptions in other industries. Identify overlapping skills requirements in those job descriptions and start to highlight the similarities, not the differences. For most of us, when we jump on these job boards, we start to look for what is going to disqualify us. And so we move on. Let's stop looking at the differences and let's start identifying the similarities in what we have already mastered and executed compared to what they're looking for. This, my friends, is where the breakthrough begins to happen. You've heard me talk about researching cross industries or whatever. Here's some really practical tools on how to do this in a very orderly and organized fashion that won't overwhelm you because it's more than just pulling up job descriptions. It's more than just reading what they have. It's understanding your capabilities first, understanding the skills that you consistently use, skills that you are currently developing, and some innate natural skills that just come along with who you are as a person. And so within that, again, if you don't already have the mapping done, please map it out first. You don't want to do this where you are not looking at these job descriptions with a clear picture. So map out your skills, and you'll be surprised at when you begin this exercise how many skills that you may have overlooked, forgotten about, underutilized that because you didn't know that it was marketable skills. Once you mapped it out, Once you've dropped them into the 4 categories that we previously discussed, which is operational skills, people skills, strategic skills, execution skills. Once you drop them into those core categories, now I want you to begin to look at 3 to 5 job descriptions outside of industries that you've worked within and begin to highlight repeated skills requirement. You will see that across multiple industries, although the job titles may be different, the skills necessary to be successful within those titles are very similar across multiple industries. So highlight those repeated skill requirements. Compare that to your current or your previous role. Again, this is a developing process. So when you begin to compare, sometimes reading someone else's job description will trigger or remind you, oh, I've done that before. So now you've added more to your skills mapping. Use places like LinkedIn to find people who've made similar transitions. People discuss this all the time. It's just now you are looking for this information, not just for information, you are looking at this information for research and elevation on your earning potential. So look at those celebratory posts that's put out there on places like LinkedIn or social media that's talking about their new position or their new job and do a little research. Is this within the same industry? Is this a different type of industry? And then compare what did they use, what skills transferred to get them into a better position. Map out those similarities and those transitions so that it can help you to better articulate not only where you are, but help you to better redefine what you want to do. Study how people describe their experiences, not only their experience in their current positions, but what did that transition look like? How long did it take to get acclimated? Begin to get this information in your database because the more you know, the better you are to present yourself. Now, I'm not just having this episode just for professionals because in order for this to work, then we also have to help our current hiring professionals to understand how to identify skills translatable opportunities and not disqualify immediately because they're looking for the wrong information. So, having said that, we have to address something on that hiring side. Companies are unintentionally filtering out highly capable talent because they're used to prioritizing industry familiarity over skill capability. And in today's economy, that is a costly mistake because skills are transferable, execution is transferable, and leadership definitely is transferable. What is not easily teachable is critical thinking, adaptability, problem solving under pressure. These are the very things many non traditional candidates already have. So you very well could be missing your best leader, your top leader, your next leader. You're dissecting all that they are and what they're capable of doing. You're dissecting it down to a title or industry familiarity. Critical thinking for every company is vital. Someone who can move between industries with that adaptability is extremely valuable in today's economy. And problem solving, there can be courses, they can take certifications, but to be able to organically, naturally understand and execute problem solving under pressure is a skill that every company should be seeking. So, for companies, for employers, instead of asking, have they done this exact job before? Start asking, do they have the skills to do this job well and grow into it quickly? That one shift changes everything. If, my friends, this conversation is opening to your eyes, I want to encourage you to go back and listen to the Skills Translation series from The Color of Success. Those episodes break this down even deeper. And as we continue to build conversations like this, my goal is simple: to help professionals stop shrinking their experience and start positioning it in a way that the market actually understands. And as we're closing this episode, I just want you to reflect on something. If your job disappeared tomorrow, what skills would still pay you? Please, I want to encourage you to do these exercises. It could help you now and definitely in your future to improve the positioning of your earning potential. Skills are one of the few assets that move with you regardless of industry, company, or economic condition. They are not assigned, they are developed. And as we close today's conversation, remember this: earning is not just about where you work, it's about the value you bring with you wherever you go. If you want to continue to build that value, you can easily find us across a Better Way of Earning ecosystem through the podcast, deeper insights with the Job Hunt Chronicles, and opportunities to showcase your skills through Ascent Global Marketplace. Because the future of hiring isn't applying, it's being discovered. Until next time, stay prepared, stay adaptable, and stay in ownership of your choice.